Hi everyone, welcome back to Tara's Take. Today we're going to play with an art journal page. That was our challenge this month, and you know I've been talking about doing one, so I decided to just jump in and get my feet wet again. So what I have with me is I have a few pieces of scrapbook paper. They're the thinner type of paper, and I'm going to be using those to collage with a little bit, and I might also use a couple of pages I did on my own over here that I have. Or even possibly bring in some of my own DigiKit. I have a few pieces here that I did for fun. This is from my Kit Steampunk Dreams, which is a good one to use. I'm not sure yet, but I do know that I am going to be using these pieces here as a background for collage, okay? So I am going to be doing this also on a piece of, oh gosh, my brain went blank. It does that all the time, doesn't it? I am going to be using a canvas board. So I just get these at Walmart, and got to open it. I should have had the plastic off of it before I started, huh? I was thinking to just start from the raw with you guys, but I probably should have did this beforehand. Okay. Anyway, I have some paints here, a few paint brushes. I've got some matte gel to use to stick down my collage. I have some modeling paste I'm going to use to give it some texture. I have some white gesso that I'm going to be using, and I haven't decided. I think I'm going to use a mix of acrylic and watercolor, so we'll see. Depends on what I'm feeling when I get there. Yeah, so we'll see. Okay, so let's get started. I hope everybody's doing good today. Which brush do I want to use for this part? Go use this one. So first I'm going to use my matte gel, and I am going to actually cut down some of these pieces instead of tearing them this time. I usually tear things, but I don't know, I just thought it'd be kind of fun to have some cut up. And like I said, these are just scrapbook paper that I chose. I also picked one vintage music page I'm going to use. And, yeah, I don't know. And I'm just going to stick, that was my neighbor if you heard a door slam. He does that during the day. There's only one of them that really slams the door. The other three are very polite. I don't even know if I'll use all these pieces, but I thought that they were all nice and neutral and would look good together if I did decide to use them. I should have actually, I should have cut these down too, but when I started, when I was looking through, I wasn't sure which ones I was going to use and which ones I wasn't going to use, so. So art journaling can be a little bit intimidating if you don't, you've never done it, which all of you who've been with me for a while know how long it took me. I struggled with not wanting to do it, but just being intimidated by it. And when I finally started doing it, I actually enjoyed it. Now, I haven't done it in a while, so I'm completely out of practice. And I had only done maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 pages with you guys. So it's not like I got super good at it or something and then, quit. So I really hadn't done a lot anyway. So this is kind of like starting all over for me. So my first step on this one, like I said, is going to be to do some collaging. And I wanted to lay this music paper down. It's been floating around on my desk, and I thought that this would be a good place for it. So we're just going to use up pretty much this whole piece on here and cover it in patches so it just kind of pokes through. Let's see. That's good. Yeah. There we go. I'm thinking if this piece turns out the way that I'm hoping it will, that I may make this a gift to someone. I might do a drawing with you guys. Let me know in the comments below if you'd be interested in that. Depends on how it turns out. I'm speaking out of turn probably. I need to wait and see if we like it. So we'll see, right? At this point, I'm struggling to even get the paper to stick down. I haven't used my matte gel in a while, and it feels a little bit thick. So I'm thinking I need to art journal more often than I have been. Yeah, it definitely feels thicker than I like, or than it did before, I should say. No, I think it'll be okay. Somewhere in the hairs of the brush, I had some blue because that just popped onto my... Let's see. And I was hoping to also maybe use some of these. I'm going thick because of the fact that it's so thick, I should say. Looks like it's gonna hold all right though. Except for where I didn't get enough underneath. Let's redo this. There we go. All right. Let's see. You can also, of course, use a acrylic matte medium, or just a thinner, liquid matte medium to do this, or you can use Mod Podge, of course. Whatever you prefer. I like to buy frames at the dollar store and redo them, like paint them and do some embossing on them and different stuff, and it really makes for an incredible frame for artwork like this, for something that's more of an art journal type thing. So I might frame this if it turns out. We'll see. You might not need it, but we'll see. Yeah, I definitely, my matte gel has definitely gotten thick. It's a bummer. I wonder if I add some water, if it would be okay. Let's see. It'll still dry clear, but let's see here. I'm going to do one of these side bays. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I'm trying real hard not to think too hard about this. And I'm also not going to worry about covering all the white. That tends to be something that I dwell on, and the more people I watch do mixed media and art journaling and stuff, the more, I see that they don't worry about covering all the white. And I don't know about you, my brain kind of goes on tilt with that. And I just tend to try to do that, and I'm really trying not to do that. Where do I want this? I think I kind of like that right there. Yeah. Matte gel medium is on the list of things I need to get as resources again. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to grab my, first I'm going to put that in water so I don't let it dry on there. I brought 2 jars of water so I'd be prepared to clean stuff off. You know how bad I am about that. If you've been with me for any length of time, you know how bad I am about cleaning my brushes. I tend to wait too long and then they dry out, so don't want that. Okay, now I was going to use my dryer real quick. Oh gosh, I'm over here touching stuff that I want to put on there. I need to be careful. Okay. Oh, Tara, honey. Goodness sakes. That's nice. I'm noticing some raising right here I don't want. Okay, let's get this dry. I've decided to go dry it where you guys wouldn't have to watch the whole process. And then I trimmed a little bit of this paper off that was hanging over the edge so that it wouldn't peel up. And now I'm going to use some gesso. I'm going to thin this out a little bit, I think, because it's really thick. And I'm looking for my, let's see. I'll grab a little bit of it. It's not a heavy gesso. It is a thin gesso, but it's been in there a while, like all my supplies, I think. And I just want to thin it a little bit and make sure that it's not overly thick. And if I need more, I'll get more out, but for right now, I think this will do. Okay. So we're just going to kind of go around and add a little white. And this is a white gesso, it's not clear, just so you know, so it'll leave a little bit of imprint. I want things to, of course, be able to be seen but not focused on. Okay. I would, I'm still feeling that cold. I talked to a friend at church yesterday. I did go to church, and this is Monday of this week, so you know when I'm coming, where I'm talking about. As most of you know, I've been really sick, and I went to church finally, and I was talking to Charity, my friend, and she was telling me that her and Jack, her husband, it stuck with them for like 4 weeks, because I was telling her I still feel sick. I don't feel well yet, you know. She's like, oh, it stayed with us for like a month. And I said, well, I hope it doesn't stay that long. Because as you can hear it in my voice, I'm still coughing up stuff. I'm still blowing my nose like crazy. And I have no fever or anything, thank God. But it's just a nuisance. And I feel at like 75% of myself, you know. I just don't feel fully there yet. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and grab some of this, some more of this gesso. And the reason I told you guys that is because, of course, for your prayers, but also just so you know why I'm being a little bit quiet. I'm just not fully my super, you know, excited and full-blown self yet. I'm just going to take a card and I'm going to do some streaking. Give it a little more texture than I have there. And I probably should have sat it in the square one. That was really dumb. Here, there we go. That'll make it easier. So I'm just kind of tapping the card into it. Okay. We're also going to do some texture with a stencil. I actually kind of prepped myself today and got things basically ready for what I wanted to do with you guys, which I'm glad because I'm not having to, you know, pull from out of nowhere and just stare at stuff and think, oh no, I don't know what I want to do. I kind of came up with a plan, a game plan today. Hopefully it'll look nice when I'm done with it. So I think for now that's good. I like the way that looks, so I'm going to leave that. And let me grab a wipe and clean this card off. And I think maybe I'll put this gesso back in its container. If I need it again, I'll pull it out, but that way I'm not wasting any, or as little as possible. Okay. All right. Now, we want to let this dry a little bit because I am going to put some paint on here. Excuse me. I want to use, I think, I'm looking at what I chose as my backdrop here. And I have this clock I wanted to use. And these are napkins that I was thinking to use this as my main focal point. But I have these napkins that I did the other day. I have a whole drawer full of them. I'll show you what I did. I went in and just prepped a bunch of napkins with different things I like. You know, like birds and butterflies. I have some peacocks. I have, some flowers and stuff. And so I also went in and printed some clocks out that I liked. I went into Vecteezy and picked some images and put them in Photoshop on a page, and then I printed them out on my rice paper. So when you use rice paper, it's very similar to using napkin or tissue paper. It's got that same feel, but it goes through my printer pretty good. So I had thought about putting this as a backdrop as well, this flower, along with the clock, and then have like, but I don't really want to use the lavender, so I'm thinking I might just stick with these guys for right now. So I'm going to do I'm going to go ahead and play with some blues and browns, and I kind of want to mix this. It's a turquoise acrylic, okay, and then I'm going to put some of this robin's egg blue in it with it and see if I can come up with the color that I had hoped to use. So let me see here. Maybe a little bit more of the robin's egg. want a turquoise color, but I wanted it to be a light, very light color. Because I have the darker turquoise in my watercolor and I have it in the acrylic ink as well. But I just kind of wanted to add a little bit of this. I want it thinner than that. I'm going to be covering this somewhat too, so I'm not too worried about where I put it. I just wanted it underneath. Let me grab my, I think I'm going to use some of this Territorial Beige mixed with a little bit of the Antique White. Maybe I'll use this because my cups are all messed up. Oops. I always see little hairs. It's from my cats. I have those two cats, my babies, and their hair is always everywhere. Stir these up. I didn't want the white, but I also didn't want it to be too dark. And I wanted it to be a neutral. I'm probably going to come back in a little bit. Oops, I've still got some of that blue in there. Oh well. I'm probably going to come back in a little bit with some umber brown watercolor on top, so it's gonna hopefully the similar colors will go well. Usually I like spray paint and let it drip down the page and all that, but I thought I'd try a different approach this time. Hopefully I won't regret it. I wanted those to blend a little bit. There we go. I'm not crazy about the brush I'm using either, so I've I've only got 65 different brushes I could use, and I picked this one. Okay, let's see now. We're gonna have to let this dry for a second. Ooh, my paint came up. Oh well, I'm not gonna worry about it. It's probably gonna be hidden underneath a stencil part piece anyway or something. Ooh, I'm kind of getting a little crackle effect over here. I didn't expect that, but that's cool. See it? Can you see it? Yeah, it's looking crackly. I didn't use a crackle paint either, so must be the heat against it like that. Okay, so now I'm gonna grab my modeling paste, which has also gotten very thick, and I'm gonna use my palette knife, and I picked my favorite little stencils. I've got the two, and they're the same basically, so they're just mirrors of each other, but one's smaller, so I think I'm gonna use the smaller one because I think it might be easier for me to lay it down where I want it. And it's funny, it took me forever to get my paste, and then I kind of hoarded it because it took me so long to get it, and then it dried up on me because I didn't use it enough, which, you know, don't do that to yourself. Use it. If you have it, use it because it will dry out. So I'm just going to go and do the swirlies in different spots on the page. I'm going to probably do another side over here. At least for my eyes, I don't know about everybody else, but for my eyes, I can't go wrong with like a embellishment like this, a swirly embellishment. I love it. So it always looks pretty to me. Okay. There we go. Oops, I tapped that with my finger. Get my, sorry, I'm having to get in here and get some because it's so stiff. Okay. All right, so there we go. I'm going to rinse this off. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I think we're dry. So I added just like one spot there and one spot there when I was off camera. Now I'm going to look here to putting my focal point, and I'm deciding which side I want it on, whether it be on that side or maybe down here or up in this area. And then I'm gonna have one of the butterflies in the corner of it, and then I'm gonna have the others off from each other, but I'm not. I was thinking this corner and this corner. I want to leave space because I'm going to put some type of phrase or sentiment or something. And I also wanted to add a little bit of script. So I'm going to grab one of my little stamps and my black ink. Or do I want to use maybe I'll use my StazOn Timber Brown for this one. And I want to make sure I get them straight. Yeah, that's dark enough. I always go a little bit crooked. I need to stand up and watch what I'm doing from the top. I don't want to overdo it, but I'm always kind of fearful that I'm going to overdo my script. There. Okay. Well, that's not quite enough, is it? All right. Now this is StazOn, so when I add any watercolor or any water to this, oops, it's still gonna stay on because it's permanent. And let's see here. All right, now, in this camera, there we go. Okay, so I'm just letting that dry. And I think I'll go ahead and I'll put my clock about right here. That was kind of the original idea I had, and so I think I'll stick with that. And I'm going to use my acrylic mat to put this on because it's stayed nice and thin. It's not thick like the other was. So I'm going to go ahead and use it. I actually cleared out a drawer for my paints. And I may bring in a little bit of these. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. Grab a piece of paper towel. I gotta dry my brush a little bit. It's too wet. Okay. So, yeah, this stayed nice and thin. It didn't thicken on me at all. Okay. I feathered this out with Photoshop on the Photoshop end of it so that it would look already kind of blended in when I laid it down, which I think that worked. And then I'm going to use, let's see which butterfly. I have two of the same and one that's different. So I'm going to put one at the corner here. And these are napkins, like I said before, so they're going to blend in real easy. You can even see the script through the white of that napkin. Just a little touch more. Now, just deciding where I want these guys. If I want both of them. I think I do, because I like the odd number thing, you know, having the 3 of them on here. I'm just deciding if I want them on which side I want them on. Maybe I'll have them like that. Bring it up just. Yeah, I kind of like that. So I think I'm going to go for it. I went out of order a little bit on myself. I should have actually done, I'm going to wait on this one because I want to paint around here. I should have actually waited and did my painting that I wanted to do for my watercoloring. So let me grab, because I did want to add in some of the sepia brown, or no, the umber, I mean. No, this is sepia. I'm right. I'm right. What do you know? And this is just the watercolor ink. And then some of the turquoise. And hopefully I do a good job with this. Let me see, which brush do I want to use? I'm going to go ahead and use that brush I used before. Get me some water on it. I think I'll do the turquoise first. And like I said, usually I run it down the page, but today I kind of wanted to be more controlled with what I'm doing, because I always feel like I'm totally out of control when I do that. So I wanted to play a little bit with this and just get it on that butterfly a little bit. I'm not worrying about it. Add a little bit more water to this. Thins it out a little because it is that ink, so it's very, very, it's very thick and very strong, concentrated, I want to say. I want to leave some of the white also because I want to add in some of that sepia mixed in with the blue. Oh, I like that sepia. It's pretty. I'll let it run a little bit. Oh, I like that dark that it's making with the mix of the turquoise and the brown. That's pretty. Let's add a little more of that in. I'm using very little of this just because I'm still learning about it, the watercolor ink, and I don't want to waste it because it is expensive, well, at least to me. Maybe not to everybody, but yeah. To me, it's a little much. I think I told you guys I ended up getting it on sale. I was so excited because I got buy 3 get 2 free, and yeah, I found that to be very fun. A fun sale. Okay. I'm going to run a little bit of it over here. Now, this little butterfly wouldn't have had any paint on him if it weren't for the fact that I put him down too early, but I'm not going to worry about it, you know? Grab a little more of this. The turquoise acrylic ink is, oh, that's pretty, is way different from, the color is just it's beautiful turquoise, but it's just totally different than the watercolor turquoise. I like that dark. It's pretty. Let's let that run a little bit. Add a little water to it. Not a lot, but okay. There we go. I'm liking using this in a more controlled fashion. I always go so crazy with it. Okay, let's see. What else do I want to put it? Where do I want to put it? I think I want to do a little more of the brown up in this corner, running into that. I kind of like that deepness on the edge. I always love the deeper color on the edge of stuff, which I am going to be adding some black at the end, like I do sometimes, or most of the time with my art journaling, because I love it. But this is kind of a fun way to bring it in as well. Let me grab my paper towel, kind of catch this a little bit. Okay. It spreads so pretty, huh? Okay. I'm looking at places I want to make sure I leave some spots for me to utilize with my words and script and stuff, and so, but I like this running along the edges, and I love the dark mix of the turquoise and the brown. I like that deep greenish look along, but it blends because it's from the two main colors. So let's just get a little bit of running at the top here. Not a ton, but okay. There we go. Try to do this very lightly. There we go. All right. So now we're going to let that dry. And then I'm going to add in that third butterfly somewhere over here. I might as well. It's kind of dry right here, so I'll go ahead and do that while I wait for that. just right. I think I'll put, where was I going to put him? Oh yeah, right here. Okay. You know what? I might run some of that paint down over him anyway, like I did the other one. I don't know. What do you think? I like the way they're off-centered. That they landed in a good spot for me, at least for my eyes. Okay, I love the color of the sepia mixed with the turquoise. I think it looks really cool. I hope you like it. Okay, there's that. Now we're going to dry this water. Okay. Got a few little air bubbles right here, so I'm just kind of pressing on my paper to make sure. I don't want to move those inks, so I have to be careful. I get aggressive with my heat tool. I like the way this landed. I do. I hope you guys like it. I kind of want to bring in a little bit of this gold. It's an acrylic, so I'll you know what? No, because my other gold is a bit bright, and I don't really want the brightness. This gold is very transparent and thin, and I think if I really thin it out with, gosh, I'm so glad I didn't stick that in there. It almost did. I think if I thin it out with water, it will blend and run really well because it's a very thin acrylic. It's the ones I got at Target, in case you like it. I'll show you again what it looks like. It's the Mondo Llama acrylic paint. And, okay, Mondo Llama, and the color is glistening gold. And it is a glistening color. It doesn't, I want to get it even runnier. You know me, I love that hint of gold, and I'm hoping that I can just get it to kind of run through some spots here. Oh yeah, there we go. Look at that. Look at that. See it? That's all I want, is for it to kind of run through some areas. Oh yeah, that is so pretty. Okay. I love it. Oh yeah. It just, see it? Is very light. It is not an overwhelming gold. It's, if you like that hint of gold without it overtaking your picture and being too brassy. Sorry guys, I still have that cough. Sorry. Yeah, if you like the gold without all the brass, this would be a great gold for you to use, and it can be used a lot like the tempera paint, the sticks that we use. So don't want to get so much water in there I make my watercolors run, but I do want this to land in these spots and just look dynamite, you know. Let me see if I get it in the right light so I can see where it landed. I'm very lightly tapping. I want it to blend as much as possible. Like I said, without adding a ton more water. But I want the gold to trail with the other colors. Ooh, it ran right along the side of that clock, really pretty. Okay. Okay. I also didn't want to waste the gold that I had laid out, so okay. Let's do one more trail down this side here. Let it just drip. Just gonna kind of roll it in there. Okay. Now we'll dry it. And my eyes are so much happier with the gold. I'm gonna hold this up away from it so I'm not right on top of it. I don't want to move my ink a lot. Just kind of helping that along a little bit. So for those of you who've been with me while I was sick, I am just about done with my monk binge. I'm halfway, a little over halfway through season 7. And yeah, I've enjoyed watching it again. One of those little shows that, I don't know, I love, okay, some of you might not even relate to this, but I love Columbo. And I don't know why. It's just a good old-fashioned crime show. And it's one of those I can have on in the background. It's like white noise to me. I can just have it on. And I think it brings back good memories from my childhood. But Monk is that kind of show for me, too. NCIS, Bones. There are just certain cop... And it's all cop shows, usually. But yeah, I'm just filling in on where I'm at. So... while we dry this. I actually really like the way this one turned out so far. We're not done. We're not done. How much time we got? Oh, good. I did this one pretty quick. Hey. Come on, baby. Dry up so we can continue playing. So I'm wondering if I want to use my black around the edges, or if I also want to maybe use some, because I'm going to be using my Woody Stabilo, and I'm thinking I might use my brown as well on some of this because of the neutral color scheme, you know. I'm definitely using black around the edges, so we're not skimping on that part. Oh, I really like the way this turned out. How's it look for you guys? Here at home, it looks really cool. It's a little brighter on the camera than it is in real life. In real life, it looks a little more dull. The gold stands out, but the browns and stuff are definitely a little, and even the turquoise is not quite as bright as it looks in the camera, but that's okay. Anyway, so I'm going to move this camera just slightly because there we go. I feel like I'm having to keep back that way too far and to keep it in focus. Okay, so now I'm going to go around these edges. And I might just use a brush. I'm going to try this, but that's not too bad. Sometimes when I do it like this, I skid. And I don't like to skid across it. And what I do is after I get done going around all of it like this, then I take a brush and kind of wipe through it so that it makes it run. Because if you've used Stabilo, you know how beautiful it runs. Yeah, this is actually doing pretty good. I have never bought the thinner Stabilos simply because I had these woody sticks, and they're so long lasting. I've never even sharpened this. I mean, and it's still, and I use it quite a bit actually. And I've had them for, I don't know, maybe a year. Oh, that's taken off some of our, well, that's okay. We'll just blacken that spot right there. I'm not going to worry about that. See, it's skidded a little bit. Okay. I am pressing pretty hard on this to get it to go on there right, so it's working really well actually. I might do this as a giveaway on my Tara's Take page. I've never done anything like that on that page, and I've got just shy, I don't know how many of you are, I haven't looked at the list and seen, most of the names that I have seen seem to be strangers to me. So I don't know if you're here on Tara's Take family with me, or if you know, the people that are on my Tara's Take page have just seen me on Facebook. But I'm getting up there pretty high. I'm just, well, last check was this morning. I'm just shy of 600 followers on there. So I was thinking I might list this on there as a giveaway. So if you're not a follower on the page and you're interested in having this as something from me, let me or jump over there and follow the page. It's just Tara's Take. Pulls up just the same, you know, as it would here on the channel. Looks exactly, I don't have it as family, I have it as Tara's Take, just so you know. Oh, there is just something about that black around the edges that makes my eyes go, yay! I just love it. I do. And I love, you know, kind of skidding the ink across, I mean the Stabilo, and making it just stand out. So pretty. Do y'all love that? I think anybody who uses the Stabilo falls in love with it. I do. Kind of trying to hit these white edges because this is on a canvas, like I said, a flat canvas board. So I'm kind of trying to hit those white edges as well. I'm not sure about what phrase I want to put on here. I like that. Maybe I'll just keep this one. No, I'm kidding. No, I've already said I'm going to do a giveaway with it. So even if I like it, somebody out there is going to have it in their collection. Okay. What I'm going to do on Tara's Take is I'm going to make a post. And now what I was thinking was I wanted to, let's see, did I get most of the edges? I think well, nope, this side I didn't. I'll go around it after and make sure I've got them all, but I was thinking, can I just use, because I wanted to do a little bit under these pieces here, the collage pieces, just to kind of darken. I think what I'll do is I will wet that. There we go. That's better. I've never been super great at shadowing, so this is kind of like a practice thing for me. Probably should use like an even smaller brush, huh? I have some. Let me see here. I actually have these really nice tiny detail brushes that I could use. Just getting a little bit of water in my cup over here. I just use the water and then I dip the water in the brush, or the brush in the water, and then I run it along my Stabilo like that. Okay, just in case anybody was wondering. Oops, too much. Gotta be careful with that. Stabilo is very strong. Okay. I think I like it better with this brush. That's too detailed, too defined. I like this more because it's more scratchy and yeah, looks messier. You know what I mean. Okay, I'm going to use some words now. Let me see. Just looking through my little drawer here to see if pulling out some that I like. They're all so mixed up. Let's see here. Oh, I like those. Let's see. Hang with me, guys. I have, there's different writing, and I'm trying to find the writing that is the same. And I'm trying to find things that go together, phrases that go together. Okay, so I am going to be using Let me get my brush ready here. I'm going to be using this. It says I can and I will. Down here, stand firm and believe. Now I'm going to distress these a little bit so that they're not totally... And in fact, I think I'm going to distress them with black. And that way they kind of will already be blending in with the other outlines and stuff. I'm going to trim this down. Where's my scissors? Okay. Oops, I had a dry spot on there. Okay. All right. I hope that this inspires some of you to sit down and give the art journaling challenge a try. I know it's something different from everything. You know, one of the things I mentioned in the challenge page on our page on Facebook, and that if you want to do the challenge, that is where you'll find it. It's on our Facebook group, Creative Cuties. But what I was going to say is, one of the things I wanted you guys to remember is that you can do this as a... You could make something like this on regular, you know, mixed media paper and use it in your junk journal. You could use it as a page. You could scan it after you're done and reuse it over and over again. Or you could use it as a background for your journal cards or for, you know, your tags. So it doesn't have to be like a thing where it's just there and you don't use it. You know what I'm saying? So you could just use it as, you know, look at it as an extension of your junk journaling. Let's see, where do I want this? Okay. And I'm thinking when I'm done with this, I might go over this also with my varnish that I like to use. Possibly. We'll see. There. Okay. Now, one thing I messed up, I used the wrong dauber. I used the brown dauber with the black, and it didn't quite look as black, and that's why this looks blacker than that. Also, it's a different font, but that's okay. I'm not going to worry about little tedious things like that, you know. So let's dry this real quick and... I think I want to take some black underneath. Just a tiny bit. Ooh, that's not wanting to stay down here. Give that a little push. What I was saying was I think I'm going to use a little bit of the woody pencil. Maybe water in here. You got to be careful how much water you use with the woody pencil because it does go off rather quite thick, as you've seen. Okay. Just to kind of shadow underneath there. If I had this smaller pencil, I would use it. This is where it would come in handy for me, is when I'm trying to do like, but if I try to write with this one on here, I have a feeling, let's give it a try. I don't know, maybe I can make it work. Maybe it's working a little bit. Oh, what do you know? It wasn't so bad. I was thinking it was going to be super thick. There. Okay. So now I think I am going to add varnish on the top of this. I think it'll be pretty. I'm kind of wondering if, oh, I got a little bit of white right here, so I'm going to darken that back up. There we go. Okay guys, so I went in my back room and I grabbed my, I'll show you, the Krylon Kamar varnish. I got this at Walmart. It's a non-yellowing protection for oil, acrylic, and watercolor, and it keeps a fresh from the palette look. Acid-free and allows easy rework, free from impurities, okay? So I use this on my paintings, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to try it. But yeah, it really... It's still wet, of course. I just did it. But it's going to give it a beautiful coverage. And it really brought out the colors and everything in it. So that is that's our art journaling. I don't even want to call it an art journaling page, but that's our art journaling piece. So I hope you guys had fun and that you feel inspired. I just want you to be inspired to break out of the norm. This is breaking out of the norm for me when I do art journaling, and also it's more of like a mixed media art journal page. So yeah, enjoy, have fun, and go wild with your imagination. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please leave me a thumbs up, and a comment will really help the algorithm to spread my art on YouTube. Also, if you're not a member of Tara's Take family, please consider subscribing to the channel and becoming a part of our family. We'd love to have you. And we also, as I mentioned before, we have our Facebook page, which is Creative Cuties. Then I have my other Facebook page that is not my group. It is me solo over there on Tara's Take. I'm at Instagram at Tara's Take. Also on X at Tara's Take, and Etsy, of course, and the links are below. And yeah, I think that's it. So I love you guys. God bless you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.